Hi guys, my name is Mark. I'm back in favor of the most and for the disappointment of a lot, but I'm glad to be here and show you the new rework Pelz today and compare it with the old, with the Otsu, with the Neptune and with some other stuff. Let's go. So as I said, I'm back. Where did I went in the time between? I just enjoyed life, guys, a lot. So today I show you the old Pelz and the new Pelz. The old Pelz was kind of one of our first, let me say, S-tier pets, but it doesn't got the attention it would have gotten if it would be a single release, because we released it at the same time like we did it with the Riz. Problem with the Riz was not the problem, but the thing with the Riz and Pelz at the same time was the Riz was so unique, so outstanding, and is still outstanding, that the Pelz kind of got non-attention, or only a few, or only by people who knew there is a second pet and it's made by Whale. It must be somehow good. What is it? And people who knew the Walhaut and knew that I made a Walhaut slow in white once, which wasn't exactly what I was looking for because it was still on rubber, knew I would one time or sometime do something like a Otsu. And I did. Or I thought I did. I thought I did a clone out of a Walhaut and the Otsu, and I call it Pelz. Maybe it was somehow in this way, but one thing which wasn't like I expected it to be over time, especially the way it performs. I mean, it wasn't as abrasive as a Walhaut or as a Otsu, and there was no scratching with the mouse feet or mouse shell on the bottom itself, because the fibers, like the threads I used, were a little bit softer. They feel like they are waxed, but they are not. They're not. And the quality-wise, the knots were like a little bit loose. They have a kind of an L pattern, and you see when you have an original Pelz still, you see there is a little pattern on the pad itself, and it's pretty cool. It makes it very linear. You can use it in aim trainer a lot for short stints, for corrections, for flicks, for a lot of stuff. You will perform very, very well, because this pattern itself, it favors the sensor a lot, because it's kind of optimized for sensors. But yeah, at the end of the day, somehow it got too slow after it had like a mediocre, like 7 to 8 days break-in phase. It got even slower, depending on what kind of skates you used. When you're not using like Victus 2 glass skates at least, or real Sapphire skates, it was way too slow somehow. And this was one of the major downsides in my opinion. And the thing that when you tried to flick or track more precise after a longer time of playing, like after 2-3 hours, you kind of always stopped too early or stopped too hard, or were like not exactly at the point where the head is, for example. You were a little bit off or before, or not really on it, and somehow it like lowered the performance I thought it would offer over a long time. So I thought, if I would release the Pelz once again, I would change a lot. No, not a lot. I just did what I basically thought about to do with the Blitz, but I did not, because I thought Blitz first will get an so-called rough chaos jacquard. Now a lot of guys from different brands, rough chaos jacquard. Write it down. You won't find it anyway. Don't worry. So I did not. Blitz is a completely different kind of fabric with a different thread, and people don't know which one it is, because the treat itself is so unique that you can't remake it. And I did something like this on the Pelz too. The treat now is a little bit tighter. It's not spilled, it's not heated, but it feels like it's acrylic, but it's not. And there is some special kind of treatment with it, which I don't disclose now. It's not resin hardened or something else, like a Deglow, for example. It's just different. And this brings some advantages for everyone. First of all, advantage would be the humidity effect is even lower. So at any area or kind of humid playground where you are, like if you are in Brazil, if you are in Thailand, stuff like this, or in Taiwan, or wherever, China, when it's summer, humidity is high, the effect on this pad is very little because the water soil is very high. But when it breaks in, you also see that it is wet. It somehow indicates on any color when it is like too wet. You just see like a point of water think into the thread. Before everything else looks like it is it's peeling off, like there's a lotus effect, but it's no real lotus effect. It's just the base resistance of the treat itself, which also leads or is favored by the more tight, higher resolution knots and the more dense fabric itself. The density rises a lot, so the level of the density of the whole pad is way higher than on the old pads. But it's not an Amundsen, it stays a jacquard. And the old pattern, for example, from the Pelz or from Otsu, is not given. It's getting back more like to a Walhaut, but it's still not Amundsen. Walhaut Amundsen is way, way, way more chaotic, or like way more unindependent by the pattern. So it looks like it is all favored by randomness, but it's not. Like here, there is a small pattern, but it's so small that you can't see it. You see on this pad, there are like rough phases on it, and they are very regular. Why are they there? Because to give you a linearity on the horizontal, you need those, because they limit the breakout from top to bottom. And even you have an unharmonized skate design, it still not tries to force you into a direction, and you have a very nice feeling. So if the skates in front are smaller than in the back, you will feel this, definitely. You will feel any kind of difference of skates on this pad. If we compare this with the old Pelz, the old Pelz has too high dynamic and static friction for this, and it was not really like the response you get from the mouse and from the skates you would think you get because of it being a jacquard pad. So not like a classic one. It was one of the slowest jacquards, or is still one of the slowest jacquards on the market. And we stayed, but it's discontinued, guys. We don't do the old one anymore. We only do the reworked one because the overall performance is more what I like to play. And La Onda still only releases products which I favor for myself to use. There is no product at La Onda which I told them to do or to make or to buy, which I don't favor and I don't play. Keep this in mind when you see products like this from La Onda. Basically, they are there because I wanted to play them. So I wanted to play this, and it's here, and I'm glad it is like it is. I was already very hyped by the prototype we had in gray, which I posted a lot, and I know Eufaros, and one of the bigger or faster growing YouTuber from France, who's very active, by the way, in doing reviews, but not in English, is a big fan. That's why we, for example, up in the next 3 months, somewhere, maybe 4, we try to make a pet feature with him on the Pelz, on a very hard version, only in gray with a red outline and a red Eufaros and La Onda logo placed on the bottom right, which will be a unique move, because if we see people, or if we see supportive people who understand the work we do, like we have no matter, or like we have no problem support them too. And we did this. We just said, hey, or he asked, can we do something? I said, sure. What do you think about? And we very fast both agreed on the gray-red combination. I said, send the logo. We put it on. We asked also Max Esports if they also want their logo on. They said, hey guys, it's your stuff. It's Eufaros community, and it's La Onda Pet. So just do it. We're out of it. We just sell it. And that's a pretty unique, pretty cool move. Thanks for that, by the way, to Max Esports, our partner in France. And thanks for being with us since the early beginnings. It's very supportive. And I think the France community is one of the bigger ones we have, even without, I'm never talking any word of France, only making it. It's kind of nice to see that performance is more important than anything else, and people honor the work we put into our products in general and into the development, bringing it to the market, making it perfect. And therefore, for making a perfect product, I want to say one thing. I have the purple Pelz here, which a lot of you guys waiting for. And you see the logo. It's not white. Unfortunately, as I said, the density has raised on any of the Pelz. They are way more dense than the version before. The dyeing or the dye of the products, like of the pads itself, is a little bit more complicated because normally we hang it out for 4 weeks. But this time, 4 weeks wasn't enough. It was packed, and 2 weeks later we put it out and we realized, oh, on the purple Pelz, the color amount was so much, like the water, the fabric kept inside was so much that it's kind of bleeded out later on. And it's not full area color change. It's just like something like it's zero master, like it's just spots, dots, stuff like this. But this is far, far away from what we want to sell and what we think is the quality and our approach to bring a product to any one of you, no matter of how low the price is compared to the competition. Internationally, we believe that this is nothing we would want to have ourselves on the desk whilst or because of the amount of money we paid and what we think is a premium product. And as Pelz is a premium product made by us, we just put it back. We're already producing or reproducing the purple one. We think in the next 4 weeks, we know the exact date. So at end of November, they will be available for sure. So before Christmas, you can get the purple Pelz for sure. Maybe it is like something else there too at the same point of time, but that's the purple Pelz, which is unfortunately also, as you may know already from the Blitz, the fastest of the three. I'm sad to tell you this, but it is how it is. And if we compare it with the gray, it's not that much of a speed difference. I think the gray is the most closest color to the purple, with being completely opposite of what you see visually and how it looks in your eyes on a daily usage. Without being that vibrant, the gray is a very cool, very clean product. With the white logo, it's very useful on a daily basis, and you can clean it easily with any kind of microfiber towel, fabric, whatever. And that's also one thing I favor a lot because of my 2 cats, some of you guys know, and of my coffee addiction. I spilled the coffee already over the prototype, just flush it out under the shower, and next day it was like new. And that's also a very big advantage. The new way, the new treatments, the way we did it, we made the fabric, is for long-term use. It will outperform in longevity any other comparable pad. And as I said, in terms of speed, the gray is a little bit faster than the black, but I guess the black is the one which is more used or more usable for any kind of shooter, like tech shooter, like CS, Valorant. You can play Rainbow Six, you can play Apex, you can play any game with the black, I'm 100% sure, because it's the most classic jacquard feeling on the highest possible level. And if you use the gray feels a little bit rougher. Gray will give you like a little bit more feeling of the texture on your skin and on the skates, but meanwhile it also is a little bit faster and has a little bit more overshoot for sure than the black one. So if you are more into tracking and you love the Warlord, Beluga, or the black one, for example, and you would love to have a very, very close to similar effect, you would go with the gray for sure, because it is the closest to this in terms of speed, but with a high security, with a high control level, without being so slow or as slow as the old Pelz. Basically, these pads are very unique, very special, and they perfectly express what I like to show. I have some other pads here now for comparison. This, for example, was the pad I was talking about already. That's I don't know if TheWhale already released it. It's an purple TheWhale, also a jacquard, I think, but it has a resin treatment, which sounds like this and makes the overshoot insane. Also, it is more like an X-Soft and it's very thin. When you press it, you directly feel the plate. And the thing is, you can't pressure stop. It's impossible, even though it's X-Soft. The surface stiffness is high, so it's very abrasive and the overshoot is extreme. That's my biggest point. Overshoot is too extreme. And the break-in after, like, it favors like getting slow spot just of the resin treatment. We made a Walhaut like 2 years ago with one of the biggest Taiwanese companies, which was planned to be Walhaut 2.0, was also resin, like the perfect Walhaut with resin, but no, it's not long lasting enough. The performance is too different after some weeks, and it's nothing I think is made to be homogeneous, like being the same all the time, again and again, and gives you the same secureness. I don't want to adapt, because I can't perform when I adapt the whole time. That's why Aim Adapt is an affiliated review. That's just a joke, bro. Don't worry. So that's the Neptune. I told Dylan I make a comparison. Let's do it with the gray first. So the Neptune is way more like fine. It's also different in feeling in general. And of course, the Neptune is faster and has a totally different structure when it comes to give you the feeling over the skate about where the position on the pad is. It is more, for me, the Neptune is more a tracking pad than a neutral pad which you can play on any game. And it's a very cool pad in performance, but also very special. Very nice use cases with it, but only, in my opinion, for those people who really know what they want. The Neptune is a great pick. I think the Neptune Pro is even better. Maybe at some point I get one and compare it. That's the Otsu. If you read the product description of the Pelz, you know, like Otsu X Walhaut should be the Pelz. Somehow, that's still the same Otsu I'm playing all the time. It's a soft. And still the melon jacquard is, in terms of feeling, abrasiveness, structure, like people say fishbone, but it's a melon way structure, gives you like a cool feeling, but I can't play it longer than like 1.5 hours. After it's like totally, I don't know. It's for me, I like for my skin, for my hands, for what I feel on the skate. It's not something I can use longer than 1.5 to 2 hours. And somehow I only perform like the first 30 minutes on it's insane. And after this, it decreases fast. I have no clue why, never found out why, but it was also the reason why I never sourced it. I have the manufacturer of it in Japan in my mails, but why? It's existing and it's not what I would favor the whole day. That's a black Walhaut. And we compared with the gray Pelz for sure. No, with the black Pelz. And sounds pretty similar. With having a very close to each other structure, but as I said, the Walhaut is Amundsen, the Pelz is still a classic jacquard. It's more knots here, it's more dots feeling. Here it is softer by how the treads are. Here it is way harder how the dots feel, and the overshoot here is way higher, and the abrasiveness of the fabric on the skin is also higher. The white Walhaut and the gray Pelz, They are very close to each other, I have to say. And the thing is that the white walrus has way too much overshoot. But the gray Pelz offers way more secure stop point with nearly the same friction values, but more comfort, more secureness, and better micro control. Even though both are broken in the main structure, like in the fabric structure, here you sometimes on the white one you had like a little tuck, depending on the skate, how soft the skate is. You won't have it on the Pelz. So that's basically it already. Small comparison, explanation for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. We'll do this for the wrist too, because we also have the wrist in non-doodles back in stock in 3 colors, purple, gray, and black, and soft. And I think I have to show you guys how good it is now, how much of an improvement it is. The fabric itself has no changes. We only changed the way it is dyed. And I want to show you how insane the best control pad without any mud feeling is on the market. Thanks for watching. Get yourself a Pelz. Trust me on that. It's the most unique jacquard pad out there, and it's one of the highest performer on the market. Guys, have a good one. See you next time.